There folks, today I'm going to do a tabletop review of the Ganzo 201. Now this is the black version. It's currently on Gearbest today at $20 US, which is £16. Now this is on sale, so I'd really recommend having a look at it. So now I've got a few of these and I've got a few different models, but this is how it looks. As you can see, this particular one's not had a lot of use. This is how it looks. It'll come well lubricated but not doused. And it has these 12 screw bits. 11 technically, because this is just the adapter. Now, let's just start with those first. Now, these can be a bit of a pain in the bottom to get out, so I'd recommend doing something like this. There you are, just using one of your bits to flick it out. Now, I have put flat pack furniture up, tightened screws up around the house. I've done absolutely everything with these, so, you know, I love them. I think they're great. Another important thing is if they come loose, you can tighten them up again. So here's all what you do. It goes on there. It is magnetic, as you can see. I'll try and get the magnet to click. There, as you heard the magnet just then. So the bits are of average to good quality. I've used these a lot on my other models and they've held up just fine. All in all, on this whole tool, with everything included, there's 24 tools in total. Now altogether, the weight is 290 grams. The blade is made of 440C 58 Rockwell HRC. Now, the body and the pliers of this are listed as CRV high carbon stainless. So let's take a look at it. Now for the UK, I'm going to make a bit of a statement here. For the UK, for EDC, these are the best multi-tools. I have bought all the other ones. I've bought Leatherman's and I've bought various other competitors of UK legal ones. And I happen to think they're inferior in quality. Now these, they're not this particular one. I have a few different ones as I've mentioned. I've hammered these and I've used these properly. I've used these like a tool from a toolbox. And I'm absolutely gobsmacked by them. They're brilliant. And I think for £16, you'd be missing out if you didn't have them. So let me just get these tools out and let's take a look. I'm trying not to stab myself while I'm on camera, which I have done before. So, one of the arms, it's got this serrated rope cutting knife, or serrated blade, but that's typically what you'll use it for, cutting rope. And that's 2.5 inches, which is 55 millimeters, and that's on the cutting surface. So that's for the UK legislation. But to be safe, as a rule of thumb, I measure the whole blade because you don't want the coppers getting confused and nicking you for it, basically. So the whole blade is 63 mil. So that's well in. Easily in. No, there's just not even anything to worry about. So I'm going to put that away. The sharpness of this, I'm not going to lie, it's a bit average. It could be better, but it's not exactly an expensive tool. And I'd be happy to hone them up. Now the scissors, I'll just get these out. The scissors, I'm just going to do a little demo on these because I think a lot of people are obsessed by the scissors, so they'll want to see it. Just a little rip of paper. Now I'd say they're pretty good. Now I'm going to cut some intricate shapes, so I'm going to cut like a little triangle. I don't know, a little square. So it's safe to say those scissors are pretty darn good. Now let's have a look at the construction. It's just a piece of steel and it's peened over. So pretty basic. It returns itself good. Now when you store it, you just flip it all the way around and tuck it away. Like this. So it's completely gone into the handle. Now that's that handle covered. let's move on to the other. Now the only downside to this is it can't be opened too easily, a lot of these, if I'm honest. They're not nail breakers like people say. And I will specify this, if you've got a problem with how tight these tools are, just loosen it up using the torque screw. You can tune this to your own liking. So let's measure this. This is a bit of a drop point, as you can see. Now its hole length is 2.5 inch, which is 65mm. And the cutting surface, which is what the legislation says in the UK, is 2.25, which is 55mm. So all in all, that's well in the legislation, so there's nothing to worry about with that. And it's 2mm thick. So I'm going to work my way along these tools and I'm going to put them away as I'm going. So let's put the knife away. Nice positive click. Now, as I've previously shown, these are a bit awkward to get out, but I've no problem with that because this is the tool bit, so it's kind of good if it is stiff. As I've previously shown, that's just the tool bit. Clicks onto there magnetically, and then you choose your appropriate bit and do whatever you need to do. So I'll put that away. Now we've got like a leather stitching tool. I've got a workable edge on it, however you could touch that up on say a Lansky, so you've got a very fixed bevel, very tidy bevel. I'm not going to bother paper cutting with that. It will paper cut but it won't shave. Now another good thing about this is for any of you woodsmen out here, if you like camping and stuff like that, you've got this. Now this, it's not quite as good as a Swiss Army knife, but it certainly is usable. There's no complaints there. So I mean, this is how you'd probably operate it. You close it all up. I'll measure this because that's obviously quite important. Because I mean, the whole blade of this is it's just over 2.5, which is 66mm. The cutting surface, which is the legislation again, 2.25, which is 56mm. So you can certainly do something with this, but it's not quite as good as the Swiss Army knife. Now, the final topic I'm going to cover about this, for me, the reason why I stated these are the best tools for the UK, it complies with the legislation section 139, which says basically under 3-inch non-locking, unless you have a good reason, of course, and then you can pretty much carry what you want. But this is £16. Now, Leathermans are big money. We're talking £80 upwards. Yes, they have the diamond. Yes, they have other little tools. But for me, they're a bit toy-like. I've had other competitors like this. I can't think off the top of my head what that tool was, but I'll bring it out. But this Ganzo destroyed it. I mean, it's £16. What more can you want? As I previously mentioned, it's cracking on for 300 grams, so you certainly know you've got it. But I think, to be honest with you, if you wanted one tool to do everything, and you're happy to have this on your belt, say you're a caretaker, or something like that, or you're just a bit of a prepper, I'd strongly recommend this as well. It's heavier than a Swiss Army knife, but you can genuinely take stuff to bits and put it back together again with this. The case itself it's solid. Now I'm going to try and abuse it a bit. I'm going to really abuse this strap now. I've ripped that. Now to do that, I've absolutely gone crazy. I put about literally 50 kilos worth of force on that. Now, as I've mentioned, I've got a lot of these, so I wouldn't recommend everyone doing it. But I've literally pulled with about 50 kilos worth of force there to rip that. So I'm not offended by that at all. The button is solid, and I think these are great. I can't recommend these enough. I think everyone who likes knives, collects knives, or considers themselves a prepper should definitely have something like this. It's not offensive in any way because obviously the blades don't lock. I think that's a biggie. Even though some knives are legal, and are perfectly legal within section 139, some knives do look a bit intimidating. There's no intimidating looking knives on here at all. I mean, I'll just get the serrated one out. That's not intimidating. As you can see as well, when using it, I'm holding the whole tool. Now I'm forcing that closed, and it's not going to cut me. So that's another biggie for me. When buying any knife, I like to know the answer to that question, because I don't want to have surgery on my hands because I've chopped me tendons. Now, same again. It's not going to close on me. So you could be quite aggressive. You could stab into packaging and things like that. It does have a stabbing sort of point. I should just demonstrate that. Let's do a quick sharpness test. That was probably more so me. So, I'll be honest, it's not hair shaving, but it's workable. If you own knives, I'm pretty sure you can sharpen them anyway, so enough said. If you like these sorts of videos, please like and subscribe. I am going to pop the link in, and that's for your convenience. And I'd strongly recommend that. For me, it is a Leatherman beater because of our silly laws. Because that's all they are, silly. I mean, Leathermans, I'll be honest, if you can justify carrying a Leatherman, you've probably got a toolbox with you anyway. So, there's no market for them in the UK. And I would like to think that Leatherman could put a bit more effort into making some comply with the UK legislation, and certainly a lot of Europe. I mean, I'm tempted to email them, but obviously it helps the more support we can sort of get. Because I don't deny Leatherman are a good tool company. They're very good, but when you've got Ganzos coming out and beating them for a fraction of the price, certainly with UK legislation, they need to pull the thumb out a bit. So, please like and subscribe. I'll pop the link in, and thank you for your time.